And the size of our stomach is the size of our two fists put together. But some people eat a bowl of rice, a bowl of soup, and all kinds of side dishes. Nowadays, there's a $3,000 meal. But you know, the simpler we eat, the clearer our brain becomes. If we eat all kinds of different things, then their brain becomes confused. That's why it's good to eat 2 or 3 side dishes with our rice. And we should never eat fruits and vegetables together. If you eat fruits and vegetables together, then something strange takes place in our stomach and it affects our brain. So if you're going to eat fruits, then you should eat it with bread or something else, and you can eat vegetables with rice. So you should have fruits in one meal and vegetables in another meal. You should not eat fruits and vegetables at the same meal. It's better that way. But certain fruits, which we like watermelon or honeydew melon, tomatoes, they're also known as vegetable fruits. So we can eat those with fruit vegetables, and we can eat those with fruits. They're kind of like in between. Anyway, the size of our stomach is the size of our 2 fists put together. But they eat a bowl of rice, a bowl of soup, and even cake or bread. And they have dessert. And their stomach becomes so expanded that it can't move. It can't contract. And then from then on, you start to breathe with your shoulders. Because they're so full. Children who are fed like this and whose stomachs are stretched out like this, later, they will always breathe with their shoulders till the day they die. You know how bad overeating it is? Test it on a puppy dog. If a puppy overeats, his front legs become crooked and he becomes a cripple for his whole life. Overeating gives such a serious effect on our body. All you have to do is try it out on a puppy. The puppy will always be like a cripple, and he can't even run properly. Overeating is truly injurious to our body. So, this stomach has been stretched out, and in 3 to 5 hours, it barely digests the food and sends it out, and it's about to rest. Oh, I'm about to die. Then all of a sudden a snack comes in, a piece of bread or some meat. It wants to rest, but food has come. You know, our stomach, whether it's a grain of rice or even a piece of fruit, this whole stomach must move. It must work. You know, I'm sure that you go into a big mill, the whole mill must turn. Whether you're using it to do sacks of flour, sacks of wheat, or even a handful of wheat. And there's even a song, let's eat and drink. Let's eat and drink. When we die, we can't eat, so let's eat. And the stomach becomes so stretched out that finally the stomach here droops like this. And in here you have pork or squid, meat, all kinds of things. And when it falls in here, it can never make it out. We have breakfast, a snack, lunch, another snack. And there's some people who even eat until late at night. It's midnight and they're still eating something. And so it has to make it out, but because of the sac here, it can't make it out. It droops here. So it starts to rot. And when someone burps, it really smells really bad. And it makes everyone unhappy. And yet, they think that if they starve, they'll die. So they keep on eating. These kind of people, later there will be cancer here. This is called gastroptosis. And here the bottom here starts to wear out. Later they'll become a hole. and you have ulcers, cancer. Then they're basically looking, is this hospital good? Is that hospital good? God has given me a tribulation. Did God give that person tribulation? It's because he did not obey. We should not overeat or snack. And eating in the middle of the night, that's even worse. So someone like this must fast for several days. And if this person stops eating, little by little, all these food particles come out, and later it returns to its normal size. And here we must start by eating porridge or something which can be digested very easily. Or else he has to have surgery and makes his family poor. And he might even die. People say, let's eat. And the stomach is saying, please save me, don't give me enough food. It's called chronic hunger. But the brain says, oh no, I'm suffering from malnutrition. I better eat some fried chicken. People are so ignorant, they don't know how to take care of their own body. So you must eat your breakfast early and eat deliciously and fully. Eat fully as long as you don't overeat. Because in the morning, the digestive power is very strong. And next, never eat between meals except water and juice. And sometimes juice can be a burden to your stomach. So let's say you drink water or clear juice and then have lunch. And dinner should be eaten early, and you should eat something which can be easily digested. That's why, that way when you go to sleep, you can sleep with an empty stomach. And then you can have sound sleep and have deep sleep and wake up in the morning with new strength and vigor. When we sleep at night, we must sleep with an empty stomach. When we sleep at night, our cerebral nerves, nose, and stomach must sleep together. That's why we should go to bed by 9 o'clock. Sleeping early in the evening is best for our health. Why? Because from 9 to 12, our cerebral nerves are asleep. But then they wake up at about 1 in the morning. That's why we must sleep early in the evening for us to have full sleep. If we watch TV until midnight and then sleep at dawn, then when they wake up, they feel so tired and their body feels so heavy. And they don't even feel like working, let alone getting up. And we must sleep with an empty stomach. The nose, the cerebral nerves, and our stomach must sleep together. At a certain company, there's two teams. There's a team which works early evening, and another team which works at dawn. The team which worked at dawn became very, very healthy, while the other team which worked in the evening till late night became pale and sick. So there's a difference between these two teams. The more days went by, the more the difference. That's why they even say that people who sleep early in the evening will become rich. That's what our ancestors used to say. And they're very smart. And they said, you should never eat at night. Never eat anything at night. So, all three must sleep at the same time. Nowadays, people eat a late dinner with a full stomach. And it's written in Proverbs that we cannot sleep with a full stomach. Their stomach is all full. And even if they do fall asleep, their stomach has been working all night long. And the cold and the nose, it complains to the nose. How can you be sleeping when I have to work like this? And so when they wake up in the morning, they don't feel happy. And that's why the stomach we don't feel like eating breakfast. They have a big demonstration in our stomach. And we have to force ourselves to eat breakfast. And so later, forget it. Let's not eat breakfast. I'll just have a cup of milk or a cup of coffee. And then people who have starved breakfast like this, with what strength can they have to work that day? Instead, they are upset and angry all the time. Nowadays, even the people here in Korea, they act like Americans and other Westerners, and they don't eat breakfast. Do you know when there's the most car accidents? It's in the morning, because they eat late dinner, and all night long their stomach has to digest the food, and so when they wake up in the morning, they're very agitated. So if we do not know how to take care of how we eat, then our brain becomes very upset. But people who sleep with an empty stomach, they feel refreshed in the morning with new energy. I hope that you will eat like this. Nowadays, we are like other Westerners, and we watch TV all night long and eat until late night. That's why everyone is sick. There's no normal people, no healthy people anymore. So, you must drink a lot of fresh water and sleep well. And remember that eating between meals, snacking and overeating is digging your own grave. Now they say students are busy and they have a lot of homework and they study until 12 or 1. But the busier we are, the earlier we must sleep. Do you understand? If you're busy, sleep at 9. Or if you're busier, sleep at 8. And then wake up at 12 or 1. Anyway, if you're busy, the busier you are, the earlier you should sleep so that you can wake up earlier. Right now, the people's lifestyle is completely opposite to the Bible. And that's why it's too difficult to receive this true light from heaven. Oh, I'm so busy. How can I sleep early? Because you're busy, you have to sleep early. Those who sleep early get more done. And people who sleep late become lazy. So because the cerebral nerves are asleep in the evening, students take a long time to study. But if they sleep early and wake up early, when the cerebral nerves have waken up, then they can study more things in such a short hour. Instead, that's why students and adults, they go through so much trouble due to ignorance of the Bible. They eat this and that because they feel sleepy at night, and they study so hard, but it's useless. It only causes them to have a headache. And when they get up in the morning, they feel very agitated. And they cannot even concentrate during class time at school. So even if you sleep in the evening and you study 1 hour at dawn, it will be better than studying 3 hours in the evening. So remember how to sleep, how to drink water, and never forget that overeating and snacking is the same thing as digging your own grave, so you better be careful. It's better to die without suffering. Breathing, overeating and having a hard time with that, it's no better than going to the mountains or going somewhere and exercising and doing work. There's no way to escape when you overeat, and your brain becomes clogged too. But we must be careful not to eat too little. And heavy workers should not skip a meal. Sometimes they eat 2 meals a day, but people who work hard should not eat like that. In our country, some people eat 5 meals a day, but that's intemperance. People should eat 3 meals a day, people who work hard. So, not eating enough can also make us sick. We must just make sure that we chew well. And nowadays people drink a lot of milk and eggs and sugar and salt. But the milk and eggs they sell in the markets, it's not very good. So it's better not to buy and eat that. It's better than for us to live in the countryside and drink our own milk from the cow that we grow, we take care of. That kind of milk is more delicious and nutritious. You know, there was a man I know who used to raise milking cows. So I asked him, you know, I don't drink milk. We should not drink it, it's not good for us. And he said, I don't drink it either. Because these milking cows, they get sick very easily. And there's a lot of diseases and pus comes out from their breasts. So that's why they're always given injections and antibiotics, even in their food. And so sometimes when the milk is not very good, they still boil the milk and they still sell it. So he said he doesn't drink it. I said, I don't drink that milk, but you know, I raise goats and I drink goat milk. And I said, oh, that's good. And even now, soy sauce factory managers don't even use soy sauce. And people who have MSG factories, monosodium glutamate factories, they don't use MSG. People who work in that MSG company, they know how bad it is. And men who work in those factories never marry women who use MSG. Why? Because they know how bad it is. You know, in Japan, there are a lot of people who are paralyzed. People who were once very healthy. And they wondered why. Later, they realized that because people ate too much MSG that it caused them to become paralyzed. If you put MSG in a steel drum, later, there becomes a hole. That's how bad it is. That's why in Korea a long time ago, we never used MSG. We still ate deliciously. This MSG is made from chemicals. And later it cripples our tongue. It makes our tongue to not know taste. So when MSG was first introduced into our country, people used to eat just a little bit at a time. But nowadays, people put spoonfuls of MSG in the food because it doesn't taste good. And later they say they can't eat it because it doesn't taste good. Why? Because they cripple their tongue. They cripple their taste buds. Later, if you quit using MSG and your taste buds become restored, then everything tastes good. So, if you feed babies, we know once they discovered agricultural chemicals in mother's milk. Why? Because the mother drank the milk that is sold in the market. In that same milk, there is all kinds of antibiotics and other chemicals. And on top of that, they eat white rice and peeled fruits, boiled vegetables. And now they say that, you know, the cows get sick so much that they have to give them antibiotics and drugs all the time. When we drink milk, our teeth, our bones should become stronger. And it should heal even skin diseases and digestive diseases. But if you drink the milk that's sold in the market, our teeth fall out. Our bones become weak. And if you look at young people in countries where they drink a lot of milk, they have false teeth. Why? Because they drink so much milk. And nowadays, they say that milk that they sell in the market, it should give us calcium, but it takes out the calcium from our body. And they say that sugar is a thief of calcium. It steals calcium from our body. That's why children who eat a lot of sweets, their teeth become rotten because it weakens our bones and teeth. So sugar weakens our bones and decays it. So we should be careful how we drink milk and eat sugar. It's better to raise goats and drink that milk. Then it will cure stomach disease and even other diseases and make our teeth and bones strong. And it's the same for eggs. The eggs sold in the market are laid by chickens, which are in cages, and they are given lots of antibiotics. And they're in cages and they can barely move. And later, after a couple months, those chickens are useless and they must be killed. Yeah, how pitiful. People are so merciless to chickens, even though they're animals. And if we eat those kind of eggs later, then we can go crazy. Because those kind of eggs have a lot of mercury. And if you eat a lot of mercury, you can go insane. So it's better not to eat those kind of eggs. And what kind of eggs are we to eat? We should live in the country and grow our own chickens, raise our own chicken, and eat that eggs. Then it's good for our body, and it'll be low in mercury. Low mercury. Let's compare eggs in the market and eggs that you grow yourself. The eggs that you grow yourself, if you crack it open, the yellow part of the egg is very, very yellow. But the ones in the market are almost white, and it doesn't even taste good. Those eggs just seem to be big. And sugar destroys our bones. That's why there was a nurse in America who used to kill babies, kill a few babies and break their bones and cut them. You know what kind of person she was? She used to eat sugar at every meal. That's why sugar destroys our body just as alcohol does. And salt, they call salt the silent killer, don't they? And salt infuses our nerves. You know, just like it's like pickling fishes. We must eat a proper amount of salt, as much as we need to make blood. A small amount. Because if you take too much salt, it really injures your body. And next, alcohol. If you drink alcohol, your blood becomes completely acidic. And that's why alcoholics, people who like to drink lots of alcohol, they cause many problems. They have car accidents, and they have domestic problems. And there are more people who die from alcohol than people who died in World War II. Even young people, they become pale and sick, and it destroys their stomach. Let's look at some of the alcohol which men drink, the strong drinks. Even if you put a match to it, they burn. And yet you put something like that into our fragile stomach, and it stimulates the stomach. So those who drink, they lose their mind. They don't even know if they're fighting or if they're killing. In other words, it makes someone go insane and crazy. And it deprives them of their energy and vitality. So not only do they destroy their own body, but they ruin their family and they die. Why? Why did they choose to die such a miserable death? And next, tobacco. Tobacco is tremendously harmful to our body. And through cigarettes, many people, so much money is burned. I think it was about 10 years ago, I heard that Koreans smoked $120 million every year. It may be even more than that now, because it was so much, it was 120 million 10 years ago. So if we all stop smoking, then our country will be able to live much better. And if we all eat brown rice, then there's no need to import rice from other countries. You know, if a family consumes 10 sacks of white rice in 1 year, then they can live off of 7 sacks of brown rice, and they will save 3 sacks of rice a year. Maybe they can even save more than that. And even if you eat a bowl of rice, there's not much strength for man. But if you take a bowl of brown rice, you gain so much strength and energy. And cigarettes, it's really bad for our lungs. It causes lots of pulmonary diseases. And cigarettes can even be more harmful than alcohol. If someone who is smoking quits, all of a sudden, quickly he becomes healthy and his body becomes renewed. And if he starts again, his face becomes pale. That's why smoking is bad for our lungs. And it even causes cancer in the end. That's why it's written in the Bible, why do you covet that which is not a food? Can I ask you, why do people smoke? Why do people smoke?